go.
Okay, Marty and Misty here from PodJamTV with another edition of PodJamTV Live.
Hi, Marty.
How you doing, Misty?
I'm good.
Another Sunday.
Yes, and I'm very excited.
Absolutely. I think we got a very special guest, and we're covering a topic today that is new for us in this series, photography, and specifically Instagram and sharing your pictures online and kind of developing a following and getting some tips and all that good stuff. And our special guest is Tony Bennett, and we're going to bring Tony up here. Hey, Tony, how are you? Welcome to PodJamTV Live.
Thank you for having me. Get to go up against the Oscars for my first act, so this is pretty exciting.
Absolutely.
Seth MacFarlane doesn't have anything on me.
Nah, I think we're gonna blow away Seth MacFarlane. So
Yeah,
For sure.
at least for the first half hour of the show until we get off the air. So Tony, we're gonna talk Instagram, and for folks who don't know about Instagram, we'll certainly get into that, what it's all about. But tell us a little bit about yourself. How'd you get involved in photography and Instagram, and kind of give us a little background on what Tony Bennett's all about.
Sure. Well, picture taking, I've always had fun with it, but it was more along the lines of Instagram came out. Then I became interested in photography. I was kind of jealous of all the, iPhone users that, they have Instagram. Why can't I use it? So it came out, I think it was April 4th, and I just hit the ground running, worked real hard. Once I started hitting the popular page, things kind of blew up from there.
Excellent. So Instagram, for folks that don't know, why don't you tell us what it is, and how did you get started, and how'd you get interested in sharing photos on Instagram?
More of putting all your efforts into Instagram, because we follow you everywhere. We follow you on Facebook, and we follow you on Twitter. But suddenly I saw you wow, he's really concentrated on Instagram. I mean, what got you interested in that?
Oh, I know where my bread is buttered. I mean, I want to be at the place where, people appreciate what I do, engage with me. And it wasn't like that from day one, but once I found the right people and they appreciated what I did, and it's really neat to make an impact and tell everyone, I really look forward to your pictures. It's really rewarding. And it kind of fuels itself, and it explains why I got more involved with it.
Can you, for folks that are, aware of what Instagram is, can you tell us, kind of give us a rundown of what the service
you did
is?
Ask me that. I like to ignore questions sometimes. Sorry about that. As far as what it is, the most basic form, it's a photo sharing platform where you can follow people to view their pictures. You can upload your own pictures. And what made it neat is one of the first applications that had built-in filters that could add a different dimension to your photo. And that's what attracted a lot of people, I think. And they can kind of professionalize their photos with a few clicks of the button.
It's like sharing your story through pictures, I guess, right?
Yes, that's a more eloquent way to put it.
Okay, awesome. And what kind of photos do you like sharing? Taking. I mean, I know, but because me, I follow you everywhere. I really love your photos. So, I mean, for those who's listening to us right now, and is very much interested in doing Instagram, I mean, for you, what kind of photos do you like sharing?
Well, this is going to be different for everyone. Me personally, I always have my head up in the clouds, so it's a natural fit to capture the sky, and it's ever changing. And you had mentioned how do you have so much time? Well, all you need is a phone, with the camera on it, and look up 5 minutes later, and you have a different picture. I think it's a little more complicated than that, but I also live in Michigan here. It's one of the most beautiful states out there. So, within a 15-minute drive, you get into forests and hills. It's beautiful. And took a trip to Chicago. Love taking cityscapes here in Detroit. So those would probably be the three areas that I focus most on.
Excellent. Yeah, Michigan is a very diverse state. very similar to Connecticut, in a very small area. We have cities and countryside and rural areas, and it's a lot of good photographic subjects.
Yeah, you can't beat the fall here in the Northeast. It's incredible.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, with the Four Seasons, it gives you a lot of opportunities to do a lot of different things. As people may or may not know, Instagram is a social network along with sharing photographs. And you've built up quite a community on Instagram. For folks that are just getting started, or folks that have been on it for a while and maybe need help to try to build their community a little bit better, do you have any tips as far as what's worked for you? Because you certainly have been successful. I think you have something in the neighborhood of closing in 100,000 followers.
Over 100,000, I think.
Yeah.
Yep. It broke the 100 barrier a week ago last Sunday. It was
wow.
Kind of a big deal, but not that it's going to do anything. But the checks haven't arrived in the mail. So we'll see what happens as we continue. But yeah, there's a few things that you can do to make an immediate impact. One of those, I would say, the biggest problem is people out there don't know you exist until you make some sort of contact with them. There's tags. I when I first started, I used a lot of tags. Some people go through there and stumble across them that way. But I'd say the key thing that you're going to want to do, there's two ways that someone can find out about you. A would be follow them, and they'll get notified of that. Or two, like their photos. So there's a few different ways you can go about it. Following people, it'll clutter your stream, but a lot of people just follow you back. And bottom line, if you want to become Insta-famous, as they say, you're going to have a lot of not only followers, but fans. So I started out by following a lot of people and then switched to liking hundreds or thousands of photos every single day. And, it wasn't easy. I mean, it took, an hour or two a day. And that's why no one saw me on Facebook or Twitter for, the first 6 months. But, I'm kind of working my way back. I'm a recovering Instagramaholic.
But it is kind of, for me, I really enjoy Instagram. When I post a photo, you really want to see people liking your pictures.
Yeah,
it kind of
feels
encourages
good.
you. It feels really good more than anything. Yeah. So I do the same thing with you, but of course not on your range.
Well, I mean, I still like likes. I mean, everyone's not a number. I know my followers, or as many of them as I can. I mean, I can't get to every single comment, or obviously can't acknowledge every like, but I know who my regulars are, and it's just kind of building an audience, or just learning people, using their name. That's a big deal. I had a lot of people say, "Wow, that's the first time you've referred to me by Lauren. No one's ever done that before." I mean, people remember that sort of thing, and it's not hard. It tells you if they have a name when you type it in, and just use it.
Absolutely. And speaking of getting likes and engagement and conversation.
Yeah, that's another thing that I enjoy. Like even you, don't you just like it when not only people like your photo, but they also talk to you?
Yeah, because photography, is so subjective in a lot of ways. I mean, there's technical aspects of photography, but it's very subjective as far as what people like and what appeals to them, and maybe it's all about feeling for me, about emotion, and kind of eliciting that out of people. And the conversations, I think, that you get are tremendous, and that's a testament to your work and your engagement. And folks that want to build that up and want to improve their own engagement on Instagram, any tips as far as how they can do that? Build their engagement, build their conversation.
Absolutely, a few different ways to do that. One, I see some people that have maybe 3 or 4 comments a day later that haven't responded to. I know it sounds simple to respond to commenters, but maybe that's overlooked. And that's the simplest way to start is tell people that you're grateful for their comments and acknowledge them, because they like that too.
It's like Twitter, really,
Right.
or any other social platform,
For
wherein
sure.
if somebody comments, it's also nice to get, reciprocated and
Yeah.
acknowledged.
Yeah.
That, yeah.
One thing that,
Every time I hear about reciprocation, I think of Jessica Northey and some of her blog posts. So, I mean, I'm a total disciple about that. And, if
yes.
people show me love, I want to show them love in return. And I think that's why we get along so well.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think that's a very, very good
And
advice.
that's true definition of engagement, right there is that back and forth. That's what social networks, in my opinion, are all about, and that's what they're built for. And I had a question I was going to ask you, and I just lost it. If I think of it, I'll go back to it.
Are the Oscars on commercial break?
I know, right? Oh, my goodness. Getting on to a little bit more of the technicals of photography and Instagram. When Instagram first came out, I think one of the things, besides the social aspect that made it very unique, it was really the first app that provided automatic photo filters. And I think that was one of the big things
that made it fun.
That made it fun and made it very engaging. Is like people saw, wow,
my photo can look really now.
good, or I can do some interesting things with it.
I didn't know it looked like that.
Exactly.
Exactly.
I mean, what's your opinion on the use of photo filters? I know there are purists out there, and we'll get into I have another question about that as well later on in the show. Well, what's your opinion on the use of photo filters on Instagram or anything like that to enhance photographs? Do you believe that it's not real? I mean, some people say it's not real and it's kind of fake. Other people say, well, it's more subjective interpretation and it's artistic. I mean, where do you stand on that?
Well, it's a slippery slope to some extent, and let me say, I'm not a purist. I mean, there are some people who believe in taking a photo and thou shalt not adjust it whatsoever. But if you go on Instagram and you apply a filter and you crop it into a square, that's editing in its simplest form. And I become a bit of an edit junkie, but let's face it, my perspective is, how often does a camera, the finished shot, actually reflect how you saw it? To me,
exactly.
it doesn't. So my kind of artistic vision when I'm editing my photos is to best replicate what I saw it, as it unfolded live and in person. Now, sometimes it, gets a little too souped up and it's easy to over-edit. So I like to keep a natural feel, but I do enhance the colors and, make it look as visually appeasing as possible.
Okay. How about with using other apps or programs to further edit or enhance photographs besides Instagram?
Like the DSLRs.
Well, I'll get into that. I'll get into that in a second. But even further with like the photo filters or the editing, how do you feel about that? Because there's a ton of photo editing apps on the iPhone.
You're not kidding.
I think Instagram now is on Android, so there's a ton of photo apps out there that you can run on a smartphone, and I'm sure people could run it through a couple different apps and do all kinds of stuff. I mean, is it really up to the individual how far they want to go and throw it out there, or how do you see that?
I would say that's fair. I mean, how much time you want to devote to it, and how successful you want to be. Because I look at it as, you want your picture to pop off the page when someone's scrolling through the feed. Wow, you want to blow them and like get it popping. And I don't think Instagram filters alone will do that. There are a couple apps, Snapseed and Pixlr Express, that are available on both platforms, both free, and I'd highly recommend them. It's easy to overdo it. Don't do 100% of everything and just ruin your picture. But just a few minor tweaks and tones. I mean, you can really set the mood with that sort of editing software.
Yeah, I think as a photographer, I see, especially folks that are new at it, it's so easy to overdo it and go crazy with especially the HDR and all the different enhancements and the contrast, and sometimes it gets blown out and really overdone. I'll even throw out a tip. I mean, I think simplicity, there's a lot to be said for simplicity, and using these tools to, it's subtlety. just a subtle enhancement can make all the difference in the world. And you just want to kind of go easy and let the photograph speaks for itself. Along the same lines, and getting into what you were saying about DSLRs.
Yeah, because there was a controversy before about that.
Oh boy, big time.
You're cheating because you're using another camera and then uploading on your phone and then sharing it as an Instagram photo.
You're right. I think some people see that as, well, if it's on Instagram, originally was just an iPhone app. It should be taken with the camera, in the phone, and that's it. But now there's a whole bunch of photographs. I'm sure you've seen them, Tony, where there's obviously done with DSLR equipment and much more professional equipment. And any feeling on that as far as, should it be, do you feel that it should be kind of reserved for the, the phone camera, or does anything go as far as on posting on Instagram? Is it more of a photo sharing service that happens to be a phone app, or is it just kind of relegated to the phone? Do you have an opinion on that?
Oh yeah, I have tons of opinions. Now, whether people agree with them or they're right, it can be debated. But what it boils down to, this is your Instagram, not anyone else's. I say post what you want. I mean, you don't want to mislead people and try to front, DSLR photos. Yeah, I took this on my iPhone. I'm not all about being dishonest, but there's some people out there. There's this one guy who's on the popular page all the time. Don't remember his name. I looked up the camera. It's like a $10,000 camera, and he's taking pictures under, in the ocean, in the tunnel of the wave at the sunset. I'm like, oh my God, I can't compete with that. But I'll occasionally post from my Canon. It's not a DSLR. It's a point and shoot. But it's got a good zoom, and I think my audience just appreciates beauty and could care less what I took it on. That's for me. But there's some iPhone purists, but I'm an Android, so I'm a rebel Instagram.
Yeah, actually, that was my next question. Is like, what are you using? Do you use the iPhone? Do you use So now you're saying you use an Android? Okay.
Yep, and I've had a Droid X, which is like old school back in 2010, and then that was replaced with the Razr a few months back. But they're both Motorola, so it's pretty much the same camera, I'm guessing, from the transition. But I'd say the one big difference, I downloaded this app, and it's called HDR Camera, and it'll take 3 different photos and kind of merge it into one at different exposures. And it gives you a totally different feel. I mean, you get some real vivid colors that way. You can tone it as you want. I know there's HDR on iPhones as a mode, but I've used my wife's and played around with it a little. She doesn't like it, but I can't really speak for the iPhone.
Okay. And that's it's a great tip from you there, and we will include that app on the show notes for those people who want to try out that particular app. What is it called again? I'm going to try it. Marty and I just got into the Android universe.
Right. Wait, you converted?
Well, not so fast.
No, okay.
Let's take it easy.
But we are testing.
Yes.
We're
experiencing.
Yeah, we're experiencing. Okay. Yeah, so that we kind of we'll be able to give better advice for those who ask us questions. Like,
look at you, always thinking about your audience.
That's right. We're geeks. I mean, it's well known. I think for folks that follow us, we're dyed-in-the-wool Apple fans. You're not going to pry our iPhones from our hands and all that yada 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 stuff.
But you know what? That's a pretty good that we're getting this from you. Someone who's an expert on Instagram. I can say, because I'm a real fan of yours on Instagram. So, okay, now we know.
Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. Okay. So, Tony, for folks who obviously are using their smartphones, whether it's iPhone or Android, to take pictures to post on Instagram, and you certainly use your phone as well and post plenty of pictures, do you have any tips as far as getting the most out of your camera in your smartphone? Because that's the one you have with you all the time.
Yeah.
And we know it's limited as far as what you can do with a smartphone camera, but there are some spectacular photos being published coming from smartphones, and including yours, and you must have some interesting tips for people to kind of get the most out of their equipment.
Yeah, and the fact that 3 out of my 5 most liked ever posts came from my smartphone, goes to show that you can take great pictures with the smartphone. You don't need a fancy camera. And what I like about it is the maneuverability. It's a lot easier to get at a low angle with your phone. A lot of people, when they take their pictures, they'll just stand up and take it kind of chest level or eye level view because it's easy. But everyone takes pictures like that. You want to get low and kind of get a workout, get them down to the ground to take some pictures, because it's going to give a different perspective that not everyone would see otherwise.
Right. Yeah. Definitely.
Can I ask like one more question?
Sure.
I know like we're running out of time.
It's your show. You can do whatever you want.
Oh yeah, listen. She can do whatever she wants in this
Misty
partnership.
Calls the shots. I'm married. I'm married. I know how that goes.
See, Tony, you know.
Yeah, I won't admit it otherwise. She's probably watching.
It's really more of since we're talking controversy, and I think it's really awesome that you're answering them. There's also another controversy about using too much hashtag. What is your take on the hashtag? How many should it be, or how should we use the hashtag on Instagram?
It's a great question, Misty, and I would say that the short answer is, how many do I use now? Maybe 2, and that's not every post. Pure Michigan, just because I want to share our state's beauty, and then from time to time Sky Candy, because that's the one of the terms that I coined. But in the beginning, the first 6 months, I would make use of the full 30 tags. And when you're sharing on other platforms and you put it in the first comment or the caption, it carries over, and I quickly realize that that's overdoing it. But it does get you exposure, so I understand why people do it as well. I would recommend doing a caption, kind of telling the story about your picture, posting it, and then adding the tags in the second one down. So once people start commenting, all those tags will kind of get hidden.
Oh, that's a very good.
That's a great suggestion.
Great advice.
Yeah. I know this show is about Instagram, but something just came to mind, and certainly want to get your opinion, Tony, on this. Online photography and posting pictures is only getting bigger and bigger, and Instagram certainly is one of the key factors in the growth of that. Do you see anything currently that might be a competitor to Instagram or some new service, or what's your feeling as far as the trend goes? Do you see this continuing, getting bigger? Do you see other media getting involved as far as posting? I mean, how do you see that landscape?
Oh, it's a really good question, Marty. I would say that I don't see it slowing down, and the fact that Instagram managed to weather their whole terms of service snafu, I thought it was a pretty laughable situation. How they went about it, and is kind of ridiculous. But we all signed those terms and agreements to begin with. We just realized it now. But it's another topic. I don't see a direct competitor. I know Twitter added some filters of their own, but I never went on Twitter to see pictures.
Exactly.
I go there to click on links, read news, say hi real quick, back and forth. And there's Flickr, and they revamped their mobile app, but for me, Instagram is where my home is. I hope it doesn't go anywhere soon, because I got a great community, great people there that I interact with every day. I think it's the place where people go, who appreciate things visually. I mean, if you're not a visual person, you probably won't care for Instagram. But if you are, I mean, seeing all that eye candy, you're going to be on it a lot. And I think that's why you can have so much success there, because people go on it every day and will stay on it for long hours just while they have their phone in their hand.
Exactly.
So that's a great answer. I do remember the question I was going to ask you, but and before I forget it, I'm going to ask it right now, because it's liable to fly out of my head again. Back earlier in the show, when we were discussing about engagement, and you brought up that, you know, you spend a lot of time on Instagram and kind of focusing on that, building that, and that's kind of one of the ingredients to your success as far as building community. Do you see, you know, a lot of people are there's so many social networks out there, you know, even just the big ones, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, certainly Pinterest. I mean, you go right down a list, and I think a lot of people feel they have to be on all of them, and they wonder why they don't necessarily get traction on any of them. I mean, it sounds like that was a good strategy for you as far as building that community, kind of unitasking instead of multitasking when it comes to social networks. Is that something that kind of was in your strategy as far as building your community? And how do you feel about that as far as other people trying to build community?
You know, I'm not sure that it was my initial intent, but once I recognized, well, hey, I got something going here. I mean, there's only so much time in a day, especially for people that have a job and, you know, are working and don't have access and can play on social media all day. There's only so much of you to go around. Mm-hmm. So if building, you know, any semblance of a community is important, yeah, I think you have to, go where you're most desired or most in demand. And now that I've established myself on Instagram, I found, you know, that's starting to carry over in my other networks. You know, made a lot of Facebook friends. You know, got 1,000 likes on my Facebook page that didn't exist, you know, 3 months ago. And, you know, so it's a responsive and engaging audience that'll, you know, go through other places too.
Excellent.
Yeah, and I just want to say hi to Antran. She's watching us now. She actually
Anne is a big Instagram fan and one of our best friends. Yeah.
And she's like, awesome. She said, great advice on hashtag Tony. So I guess she's also experiencing that.
I think a lot of people are trying to figure out what the best balance is, and yeah, that is great advice. One of the questions.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Tony.
No, I was just gonna make a smart aleck comment that I saw out of the corner of my eye when I waved that, you know, I'm probably twitching on this side, and I'm not usually this jittery. It's a video malfunction.
Yeah, the video. Yeah. Just for those watching,
it's not Tony.
It's not Tony.
The video.
Yeah. So thanks for struggling through that and looking like I'm in a disco ball or something.
Oh, no worries, Tony. No worries. I know this is your video debut, and you're doing great.
You're doing awesome.
One other question, as far as I know, just kind of elaborating on the future of all this, posting pictures and video and all that. You know, video seems to be something that I think a lot of app developers and entrepreneurs are trying to start the next network, and they're saying, what else can we do as far as an Instagram-like or Twitter-like service, and what can we share? And video is certainly the next frontier, and one of the more popular apps right now, kind of the hotter apps, is Vine, the 6-second video app that you can post 6-second clips.
Whoa, guess what? It's only available on iPhone, so I wouldn't know.
Oh, that's right. You don't know anything about that. Yeah, you haven't.
So I'm jealous again.
Not
yet. I know you haven't had an experience with it. I'm sure you've heard of it. Do you have any thoughts on that? Maybe this is a little unfair question because you haven't experienced. Any thoughts on sharing video in 6 seconds? And I don't know if you have seen Vine or any experience with it at all.
No, I haven't had any exposure to it firsthand. But you know, the whole reason why you are doing this and while I'm here is, you know, video is a very viable format, and you know, that's probably going to get more explosive growth or more growth than pictures. But you know, not everyone is comfortable jumping behind a video camera and doing that. 6 seconds, I think that might be a little short to really deliver a message. But, you know, hi, my name is Tony Bennett. I'm running for Senate in 2020. Vote for me. You know, maybe something like that. But I don't know how much relevant content you'd get out of it.
Very true.
Do you have
I'm good.
Anything else? We're good.
Yeah.
Tony,
did you like my Senate plug there at the end?
Yes.
Are you announcing? Are we getting a scoop here?
Yep, Jenny Dietrich is going to be my campaign manager.
Awesome.
We're running
See, we got a scoop.
See, we got a scoop here. Excellent.
I'm sure she's going to kill me for saying this on video, but I told her it's going to happen.
There you go. We'll have to have you back.
Do
a political show, you know.
Yeah. We need to have him back when he has his campaign running. You know?
Absolutely. Tony, first of all, thank you very much for being on our show.
Oh, it's great.
PodJamTV Live. We really enjoyed this conversation. You did really great. I know this was your first time. It didn't seem like it. You are a pro.
He's a natural.
In every sense of the word. Can you let everyone know, just wrapping this up, where they can find you online and any projects that you might be involved with that you might want to tell everyone about? Share
with everybody.
Yeah. Had more time and been better prepared. I mean, you gave me enough time. I just procrastinated and didn't finish my
we'd
blog
love to have you back, so don't worry about that.
That was supposed to accompany this, but that should be out tomorrow. But it's an easy name to remember, sogenius.com. You can go there and check it out tomorrow. I should reiterate some of the things that I'm talking about with you here tonight.
Nice.
Great.
And, of course, on Instagram, Tony_Bennett. The Instagram superhero there. And I was going to break out the superhero outfit tonight, but I didn't know if the crowd was ready for that. There's enough people dressed up on that other show.
Oh, yeah.
In the TV business, that's a tease. So when we have you back,
I didn't know. What if I hit? No, I don't.
Yeah.
I mean that's a tease, right? So we got to have him back. So folks, if you're watching, Tony's going to break out the superhero outfit. So you want to look for that when we have him again. So there you go. Perfect.
Plus, we'll have everything on the show notes again, just for people to know where to find him. And,
yep. Tony, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
You want to talk a little bit about who we have planned? And Tony, you're gonna know this person who we have planned for next week. That's all right.
We have Jessica Northey.
Oh,
next week. Mm-hmm. She's gonna talk about how she's building her community on Google Plus and how to do how to do a good Google Plus Hangout.
Yeah, we consider. I mean, she's our inspiration.
She knows how to twang out for sure.
Don't you know twang out, right?
Oh, are you kidding? I mean, I can promote Jessica for hours, but I'll let you do that. I mean, she's awesome, unbelievable. You guys know that too, so you definitely want to stay tuned next week.
Oh yes, I mean tremendous, and she's really a pioneer in that area. She's got well over 500,000 followers on Twitter.
She encouraged us actually to do this kind of a show, so we just wanted to give her the chance to share her tips and her story.
And we've learned so much from her. So really, the queen of Hangouts, in our opinion, and certainly in the country music genre and niche. She is very well known, and folks, I invite you definitely to tune in for that, because Jessica is definitely one of a kind, and she's terrific. Who do I hear in the background, Tony?
That's Lucky, and she's getting a little bit jealous because I'm taking up all the limelight or something.
Oh, there you go.
Or she wants to go outside. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So
we'll find out.
So I think that's it.
Mm-hmm.
So Tony, thank you very much. Next week, Jessica Northey. This has been another edition of PodJamTV Live. We will see you next time, everyone. Thanks for tuning in.
Go.